Vice President Kamala Harris picking up a big endorsement from former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as she goes on a campaign blitz. 4 states in just 4 days. Our senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is tracking the latest.
If you call her Blasian, I'm reporting you. Why would I would never say that. Like, now you put that thought into the minds of at least 30,000 people. You did that. Are you happy?
Good morning, Selena.
Good morning, Rebecca. Vice President Kamala Harris is racing to rally support across the country. With the election now just 100 days away, she is aggressively going after Donald Trump and hitting that campaign trail. Hi.
Hey there.
This morning.
I don't understand the change in narrative on Gaza advice. Are we asking her to bluff voters with sweet talking while still sending the votes? I think, I'm of two different minds here. In terms of like what she needs to do in order for me to be committed or for me to be excited about her prospects, she does need to change course on Gaza. I don't know how much she can do when Joe Biden is the president, and you can't deviate away from this like arrogant, entitled man who probably thinks like the world owes him whatever the fuck he wants and is one of the most arrogant, entitled Zionists out there. Okay, the only thing she can do as Joe Biden's vice president while simultaneously running for president is basically messaging. On that front, she needs to deviate and maybe even try to make sure that Joe Biden doesn't fuck up the bag too much. Okay? Any chance of Felix coming on today to talk about the JD Vance freak show? Why would I invite Felix to come back on after he was on Wednesday? That's crazy. Bro, Biden's stance on Gaza is not an outlier. Get real. Wait, what? I love that you are hitting both angles here. Like, are you actually riding with the Democrats now? Does endorsing genocide matter? Bro, Biden's stance on Gaza is not an outlier. Get real. Biden's stance on Gaza is demonstrably unpopular. You are delusional. If we're talking about the voter base, Biden is literally less popular than Trump on Gaza. One of the many benefits of not being president while Gaza is happening. But still, what are you saying right now? The notion that, like, if you were to say people don't have Gaza as their top of mind issue, you would be correct. And I'm not making that argument at all. Okay? I am not making that argument at all. But Biden is an outlier on Gaza. Biden's dick riding of Israel on Gaza is literally an outlier in the Democratic Party, and it's certainly an outlier in the broader electorate. It is not represented by most people. The notion that he just keeps saying like, oh yeah, there's going to be a 2-state, but also like it's Hamas. Hamas is responsible for everything. It's Hamas, blah, 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 blah. Like consistently lying at the behest of Israel. Okay, consistently lying at the behest of Israel is 100% at this stage, especially 9 months in, 10 months in, is an outlier. Okay, it's a stance for the military industrial complex. Sure, maybe it's not an outlier in the DMV. Nova voters, okay, people that work at Lockheed Martin, Raytheon executives, they love that shit. Okay, they're lining their goddamn pockets. They don't have an issue with that take. Obviously, like rabid ultra Zionists in general, despite not voting for Biden, and they will never vote for Biden, they agree with Biden on this issue. They will never vote for Biden. If you're trying to captivate the Texas mega church voters, okay, then yeah, you're online. You're on board with their insane bloodlust, right? But as far as the broader electorate goes, how many fucking polls do you need to see? How many polls do you need to see that shows that like Americans are fed up with the way things are going? Kamala is anti-Hamas, not pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, is good. Wait, what? No, that's not. Dude, Hamas should not be a word that comes out of the mouths of any Democrats going forward from this point on. Okay? It's just not a, like, it is just totally bad optics. Okay? There's no reason to consistently talk like you are on the side of what Americans consider to be a terror group. Okay? Like, I'm not saying this as my own personal convictions, because Hamas and all matter of Palestinian resistance right now is on a defensive posture against a genocide, and therefore I do believe that they are on the right side, regardless of their domestic affairs, regardless of their overall worldview. They are currently engaging in an internationally lawful act in terms of defending these occupied territories from a belligerent occupier. Okay? That's not just my assessment of the situation. That is backed up by international law. Having said that, however, obviously, if you're running for the American presidency, you're not going to run around and be like, I love Hamas. Hamas is doing that. You're not going to say any of those things. But you shouldn't be talking about Hamas at all. Okay? You shouldn't, because it's a losing position. Don't associate Palestinian death and destruction with Hamas at all. One, because Israel is doing all of the death and destruction. It's not Hamas that's doing the death and destruction. And any invocation of Hamas, anytime you mention Hamas, you're just coming at this situation from a losing position when it's objectively unpopular. What Israel's doing is objectively unpopular. There is a partisan battle that you can fight in American domestic politics in terms of unconditional loyalty and support to Israel. Just put this stink on the Republicans. Put the fucking stink directly on Republicans. Be like, I've told you the method, okay? I told you the winning strategy. And even my girl Nancy Pelosi is kind of hitting this, okay? The winning strategy in this circumstance would literally to go, Benjamin Netanyahu seemingly is more popular in the American Republican Party than he is in the international community, where he is a war criminal with a warrant application out for his arrest. He is seemingly more popular in the American Republican Party than he is in Israel, in his own fucking Knesset. Like, there's only one group of people propping this motherfucker up, and it's the Republicans. Just say that. Okay? So that's it. And that's true. Benjamin Netanyahu is objectively more popular with American Republicans, American Republican politicians, than he is in his own fucking country. Like, what are we doing here? Come on now. Are we for real? Be for fucking real, dude. Respectful thing.
Enforcement and revving up.
Why don't you put pressure on Hamas to end the war and surrender? I don't know, dog. Do you think I have a line? Do you think I can talk to Yahya Sinwar, number one? And number two, they have already brought up ceasefire negotiations a million times over. This is such an idiotic question to ask, and it's not a serious question. It's like objectively unserious, considering that there have been 39 instances where Hamas has brought forward multiple different ceasefire proposals, and Israel's the one who's consistently saying no to that. Okay? At this point, the entire global community wants a ceasefire. Kamala Harris reiterated that position as well earlier yesterday. The current three-phase ceasefire negotiation, permanent ceasefire and permanent cessation of hostilities negotiation, is a carbon copy of the Hamas proposal that was delivered in February. So the reality is that one side is trying to get a ceasefire deal. The other side is saying, no, I want to keep fucking doing this war. Partially because there's a lot of appetite for death and destruction in Israel. Okay? There's broad majority support for that sort of thing. Benjamin Netanyahu also wants to continue the war because he doesn't want to go to jail. Because the moment that the war ends, the war cabinet goes away, new government comes in, Benjamin Netanyahu's position is like not as strong as it used to be. He most likely might not be able to put together a winning coalition. And if he doesn't have a governing coalition, then all of his legal issues come back to the forefront. Considering that he's an unimaginably unpopular singular being, despite the fact that Israelis kept voting for him over and over again for fucking 30 years at this point. You know, he has a personal ambition and personal motivation for continuing waging war and murdering as many Palestinian children as possible. So, Yeah, a lot of commonalities with Donald Trump, by the way, which is another angle. It's just so stupid. So there you go. Hopefully that's understandable for you. Hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. The only thing voters agree on are a ceasefire, actually putting pressure on stopping weapons for Israel is a different thing to the broader public. Sure. Let's continue.
Up her campaign.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
The former president and first lady, Barak and Michelle Obama, throwing their seismic weight behind Harris as she finishes her first week as a presidential candidate, hitting 4 states in 4 days.
Bring it on.
They're late to the game, later than I am 15 minutes into the top of the hour when I serve you a 3-minute ad break. You know what I'm saying? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. Sometimes I serve it 15 minutes in because I'm late to the fucking game, right? They couldn't even get an Obama FaceTime. Guess the signal from the yacht was that bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. Okay. Here's a 3-minute ad break. Now, by the way, you can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. If you're lucky, you can get gifted a sub and avoid seeing the ads that way. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
Bring it on.
And sharpening her attacks on Trump as an enemy of the middle class.
Donald Trump and his extreme allies want to take our nation back to failed trickle-down economic policies, back to union busting, back to tax breaks for billionaires.
Overnight, Harris rallying one of the nation's largest teachers' unions in Houston, Texas.
We want to ban assault weapons, and they want to ban books. We choose freedom.
The vice
That's
president
great.
dropping her first.
We want to ban assault weapons. They want to ban books. Good line. It's a good line. It's good. Smart. It's easy to comprehend. It's easy to understand. It's a good line.
Campaign ad featuring Beyonce's song Freedom.
The freedom not just to get by, but get ahead.
Harris says she's ready to debate.
I think also angling like I've always been a fan of angling the sentiment on like economic, like progressive economic policies, like leftist economic populism, angling it on things that Americans respond positively to, like freedom, is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that is a good thing as well, because what is freedom if you have no freedom to fucking change jobs because you're terrified that you're going to lose your health care? You know what I mean? Like a lot of misdirection and misinformation in terms of socialism has existed in American discourse for almost a century at this point, about like how it's a collectivism. Socialism is about collectivism. It's about everyone collectively being poor. And it's like, no, it's actually about individual freedoms. Okay. Any kind of socialization initiative is done at the behest of opening up more individual freedoms. And I do think that that is like a good way. That is definitely a good way to angle that as well. Bad line, assault weapons are awesome. I mean, I agree. Okay. As an assault weapons enjoyer myself, as an assault weapons enjoyer myself, I do consider them to be fun. But I also do think that they should absolutely be severely restricted. Okay? Severely.
Donald Trump.
I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race on a debate stage. And so I'm ready. Let's go.
But Trump now backtracking on his pledge to face off on stage, his campaign saying it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats very well could still change their minds. Harris quickly pitting Trump's words against him, asking what happened to any time, any place when the nominee was President Joe Biden. And this morning, previous comments from Trump.
Yeah, Biden. I mean, not Biden. Sorry. Fucking Donald Trump backing out of the debate is such cowardice. And it also, once again, shows that they are in panic mode. Okay? They are in complete panic mode. I'm telling you right now, it just, one, it makes them look weak because, like, you could do that. You could do that in the Republican Party primaries because you were ripping, right? Like, there was no one that was coming near you and presenting yourself in front of these people who might actually be able to show up and say that you were responsible for the electoral defeats in 2022 to the broader Republican primary voters probably would have made you look a little bad. I wanted Donald Trump to debate because he's pretty good at stuff like that normally. He's lost a little bit of his riz, I would say. But having said that, the fact that he was like, I'm down to do a debate, and then he was like, actually, just kidding, I don't want to do a debate with a new candidate, with a candidate like Kamala Harris, who you're talking shit about, saying she's dumb. Okay. What? Aw, why'd you ban that guy? That was impressive, the amount of swear words he put into one text. But yeah, I think that they are so like they're just in a state of such panic that, like, they don't know what to do. This isn't a strategic decision. This is a petty tantrum at losing their favorite punching bag. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if she's a DEI hire who's dumb as a rock, who only got to her position by, like, you know, having sex with people in power, then you should make short work of her. Like, you can't be the god of discourse. You can't be the god of debates. You can't be this, like, charismatic, telegenic figure who's running away from debates. This isn't the fucking primaries where you're literally putting up fucking LeBron numbers over and over again. You're actually going up against a pretty fucking close opponent who is, you know, right out of the gates caught up to your performance thus far, caught up to your polling numbers pretty quickly. Kamala Harris is